nothing but a beauty queen. She make it look so easy. No one else can compare. She know what she doing,
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Stylist, and in today's video I'm going to show you guys how I made my very own Instagram story flyer using a SD template. So of course you can always purchase your own template off the SD. They range between $1 to like $20 depending on what you get, but I like to save a little coin, so I like to go ahead and be creative and create my very own. So if you guys would like to see how I created this template, keep watching. So we're going to start off with the Canva account. I do pay for my subscription, so mine might look a little different than yours. But we're going to go ahead and type in Instagram stories since that is the format that we want to work with. Once we click that, we're going to scroll down and click blank canvas. This way we can start blank because obviously we are using a blueprint. And from the image that I'm going to mock, there's a cell phone in it, so I'm going to go to frames, type in phone, and I'm going to drop a cell phone image on to my flyer. Now you want to make sure it's in frame and it has this blue sky looking picture in the back, because this is going to allow you to drop photos into the cell phone. Then we're going to start selecting our font of choice. And I'm also going to look up font. So I'm going to type in letters under element, and this is going to pop up a whole bunch of different graphic letters. So we're going to click see all, and that's going to allow us to see all the different free letters that Canva offers. Once you see one that you like, you're going to go ahead and add it to the page. This is the one that I decided to go with, which is like a purple fuchsia, pinkish type of color. It goes with the color scheme of my business. Now, once you click it, there's going to be a drop down that says magic recommendations, and you're going to click that tab that says see all, and that's going to show you all the other letters that look exactly like the one that you've seen. It has numbers, all the cool little things. So we're just going to drop all the letters that we need. And in this one, I'm going to be making a August booking flyer, pretty much bringing awareness to my clients that August booking is available. So once I have dropped all the letters that I need, I'm going to group them together by dragging my mouse over all the letters, and that's going to group it. And once I group it, I don't ungroup it because I want to make sure that they stay together. This makes this process easier. So now I'm going to pop back and forth from looking at the flyer because, again, that is my inspo. So after I put August, I'm going to type in booking, and then I'm going to play around with the font, the color, and just make it more my style. Again, this is a blueprint, not an actual, we're not copying it step by step. We're going to kind of create it to make it our own. So like I said, we're going to play around with the font placement of certain things, and like I said, we're doing this from scratch, so you just want to be creative and take your time. So once I type in booking, click the font that I like, I'm going to adjust the size, and I'm going to play around with the placement of the word booking. I decided to put it underneath the word August, so I'm just going to click on the word August, and you're going to click position, and then you're just going to position it to the back, bringing the word booking behind August. And that's pretty much how I like it. Then I'm going to start working towards pictures that I want to go inside of my cell phone image. This is the first one that I selected, which I do later change, just because, again, I want to go with the color scheme of my business, which is like the fuchsia, pinks, that kind of color scheme. So before I decided to actually change the photo, I was playing around with the transparency because I kind of didn't like it so vibrant. But again, like I said, I do change it. But here I did show you how to adjust the transparency for, future reference if you do decide to do that. So to make sure that we are still going with the theme of our inspo, I'm going to be clicking back and forth just to make sure that what I'm creating is not identical but very close to what inspired me to do this style flyer. So next up, we're going to type in rectangle in our element bar, and it didn't really have a rectangle, so I just went with the square, and we're just going to play around with the color and the sizing to create a bar underneath the August booking text. So I want my bar to be white, and I'm going to make it a little more narrow. And then also to make it longer, you want to zoom your screen in, which at the bottom of my screen, I did crop it off. But on your right corner, you're going to see a a zoom bar where you can zoom in and out. When you zoom into the actual flyer, you'll be able to see different buttons on that bar that you can't see if you're not zoomed in, and that just helps you elongate the bar to the length that you want it to be. And once the bar is the length and in the position that I want it to be, we're going to move on to making our calendar. So I'm just going to type in open square in our element bar, and it's going to drop an open square. I just made it smaller, and then I'm going to duplicate it to make all the boxes that we need for the month of August. There's 31 days in August, so I'm just going to duplicate the squares that I found under the element tab, and I'm going to position them where I need them to be. As I'm doing this, I am going to group them together, which, like I mentioned before, you're going to take your mouse and you're going to cover over the squares, group them, and then you're able to duplicate it, so this way you don't have to do each step by step. So I'm going to do that until I get enough boxes. And these are going to be my boxes for day 1 until day 31 of August. So now I'm going to do that again, drag my mouse over all the boxes, group them all together, so this way they never move. Next, I'm going to do my text, and the text that I'm going to do here is going to be for the numbers of each day. So of course 1 to 31, like I mentioned before, and you can position the numbers any place you decide to inside the boxes. I put them on the left corner. And when doing this, you do want to pay attention to all of Canva's, I guess, like measurement scales, because they do help you measure each one equally in every square. So if that makes any sense. So when you are lining up your numbers, pay attention to the pink lines that pop up, because they will help you position all your numbers equally in every square. And then I'm just going to do that, copy and paste them or duplicate them until I get 31 numbers. And then we're done with that. And then to make sure that the numbers don't separate from the boxes, we're going to now group all the numbers to all the boxes. And again, you're just going to drag your mouse over it and group them. So now, as you can see, I can move it without moving the numbers. So I decided, once I looked at the flyer again, that there were like some artwork in it. I wanted to add some bundles, but then I didn't really like the bundles that the element tab in Canva offered. So I was playing around with different pictures, but then I ended up not using neither of them. Back to the templates so we can see what we're doing. I ended up dropping a text that says limited availability only in our bar that we added, to kind of, again, mock the template, not to the T, but, you know, kind of being creative. So now I'm going to add an Instagram logo, which you can add from your element tab. Just type in Instagram logo. This one I'm able to change the color, and I decided to do a soft pink color. Then I copied and pasted my bar from the top, and I elongated it like I mentioned in the video earlier, and I dropped it to the bottom of my flyer, and I added book now exclamation point link in bio, and that just makes it look a little bit more professional, not so DIY. And then I'm going to play around with the placement of everything. That's the beauty of creating your own flyer, is that you could play around with it. You could change things. You could take things away, and you can always reuse your own free template. So looking back at our inspo, I see that she has a text at the top with her brand. So I'm going to kind of mock that. I have this text that I created a while ago that's in my upload tab on Canva. It just says Crowns for Queens presents, and it ties in with the color scheme of the flyer, which ties into the color scheme of my brand. So I added that there. It adds a professional touch as well. Doesn't give off so much DIY. Then I'm also going to replace the photo inside of my cell phone with a very old picture that I took a while ago for a photo shoot for my company. So I'm just going to put that in the cell phone. So now I'm going to play around with the placement of my hot combs and also move around my cell phone, just playing around with it just to make sure that I'm closing up any empty spaces on my flyer. Yeah, so far, this is actually really nice and really simple how I have it. So because I like it, I did duplicate it, which you can click the tab at the top of your flyers, and it'll allow you to duplicate this way you can make 2, 3, 4, however many. So I did that so this way any additional changes that I make won't be permanent, and if I would like to go back to this, I can always come back to this. So I actually decided to add at the top another bar, which is going to have the days of the week. So I'm just playing around with the color. I decided to do a gradient. I think that's what it's called, like where you have one side darker than the other. So I did a light pink on one side and that fuchsia's dark plum on the left side. And then I'm just going to copy my text from the limited availability because I like for my text to flow throughout my flyer. And I'm going to change the color to white, and I'm going to make the font smaller. And I'm just going to type in Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I'm going to drop them above the column to mimic an actual calendar. So now that that is all done, I felt like something was missing. Although it does look really good, I felt like something was missing. So back to what our inspo looks like. She has like some really cool pop-ups on her calendar. So I kind of wanted to mimic that, but kind of make it my own. So I decided to add another rectangle, and I'm going to, well, I started off with a square, and I'm going to change the color of the square to white, and I'm going to downsize it to make it into a rectangle to match the actual size of 3 of the days. So I'm going to block it off, and I'm going to add a cute little text over it. I decided to put "Let's book now!" exclamation point, and then on another weekend I decided to put availability after 5 p.m. and I felt like it just added a little pop, a little playfulness. And like I said, it doesn't look exactly like the inspiration, but it is my very own. I was able to be creative with it, and I do really like the way it has come out. So I can actually leave it just like this, which I did decide to do. But if you do feel like you're missing something, just click the element tab, type in something like smoke or whatever you think your flyer is missing. You can add it there in that empty space. But for me, in that empty space, I like to add my book now button, which I do have a separate video on how to do that. But I upload my link on my story, and then I cover the link with a book now button that I created, and it just allows my clients to actually click on my story and click that book now button. It brings them straight to my booking site. So when they see it on my story, there's a book now button that they can click, and then they can actually book on the link that pops up, which I feel like is really cool. So I love adding that to all of my flyers. Make sure you guys go check out that video where I do show you how to do that. In the meantime, I do appreciate you guys for taking the time out to watch today's video. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for my next Canva tutorial.